record. The reason I record in my car is because my car has, it's like, your car is the best soundproofed, sort of like studio. It's the best because it's the closest thing to a soundproofed studio. At least you can get some, decent, you get some decent aesthetics. You don't have to maybe go to a studio and you will pull off to the studio. Let me see. I find this much better. Yeah. So my guy, kuliko mwaka.
What's man?
The Maverick podcast. Atuse.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back in
Atuse. It's good to be back in Ebs. I like Ebs. I like Ebs for one thing, because first of all, you start from the water, those ends. The air is fresh.
Entebbe is peaceful.
There's peace of mind. There's no noise.
Entebbe, you see, Entebbe is such a place to be, because this is a place that raised us, man. Twakulire no mu Entebbe. But also again, you look at Entebbe we kutamira. Is that, man, opportunities to make money, to evolve, they are all in the city. So these ends, you have to come these ends when is something that you have going for you, but it is such a very beautiful
unless you're working in tourism, hospitality,
exactly,
the government,
yes,
SFC or whatnot. That's when you can.
That's when you can make at the business to It also comes down to what business you have. You get, so if it is not the transport business, we're ferrying people from the airport or something. But we're good to be here. Home is always best.
2024 is long, bro.
What a year.
Bruh.
What a wow.
Bruh.
In
my life, we have been through years. We've been through years, but this year, this year became long.
I've never experienced back pain in my life until this year started. I'm serious. Real back pain. Unexplainable back pain. You don't know why the back is hurt. Because I was like, did I injure myself or something? That's how bad this year has been. Up to this day, my back hurts and I don't know what the fuck is going on. So at times I just feel like this year has really taken a toll on my mind. It has taken a toll on our peace. So I don't know. For me, it has been really surviving. How can you just...
surviving.
12 months.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. I think in order for you to be happy in 2025, you're going to have to become selfish. I've seen selfish people. The people that got through 2024 selfish, those people were happy. A guy tells you no, and he means it, and he has said no. The guy will move on, and he's kawa. And he will laugh with you, he's kawa. He has nothing against you. But you say yes to somebody, and you fail to come through. You say yes to somebody, and you start now collecting. You say yes to someone, and they fuck up your shit. That's where all the problems begin. You say sometimes, Sam, I'm telling you the truth. You see sometimes, Sam, we will be there. So, selfish people. That guy is fucked up. He's selfish. Bro, that selfish person you're looking at is probably even more happier than you.
So, there's a difference between being selfish and mukodo.
Sam.
Are you trying to say we should be to abakodo mu 2025?
What I'm saying is, we need to say no a lot more in 2025. Sam, think of all the people that have a kodo in your life that some of them are even your close friends. I won't mention them here, but think about them. Just analyze their lives and think about how happy those people are. I swear to fucking God. Guys who said no, people that said no,
they have not felt the pinch.
They have not felt the pinch. Financially, emotionally,
yeah.
even spiritually. They've not felt the pinch.
So that is the take.
Me, that is my take.
So kutandika January 1st ng'ogoberawo embwa.
Sam. Sinti kugobawo embwa. Waliwo bagayi, waliwo batano.
Waliwo bagayi bakubira.
Waliwo batano. Leave those ones. Yes. But I'm just saying, Sam, in general, being selfish, being selfish is honestly is going to be the way forward, because that's the only way. First of all, that's the only way you can save as a person. That's the only way you can, because most of the times you're either saying no to something. Money, it could be money, it could be maybe not lending something, it could be not lending even your time.
But then again,
in all those aspects.
But then again, looking at what you're talking about in terms of saying no, in terms of trying to be selfish, you also do not want to ruin a good connection with someone because you said no, especially if this person knows that you can actually afford to help them. You see,
that's the thing, Sam. That is, look, there is a tweet I put out one time, and honestly, I had gotten really irritated because I can't start telling everybody, yo, I just became a new father for the second time in my life. Yo, I'm scratching to make ends meet, left, right, and center. And someone on the outside is going to look at you and think that you have everything easy. Someone is looking on the outside and thinks that, yet I'm looking for maybe 2.7 million. I'm looking for maybe 100K just to live at home for Kameza. I'm looking also for that 50K. And then someone will ask you, bro, first shoot me eka 200 G's. Bro, first shoot me eka 500 G's. And I'm like, fam. How? Like, that's why I posted that tweet out of anger. Because I woke up one morning and somebody just said, Muganda wange mpayo mtwalo 10. Chiri bubi. Sam, that morning, I had not left Kameza money home. There were things missing. So do you expect me to go and I start telling you now, Sam, sinabagula pampers, sinabagula formula, tekuli nyanya, I have not what? No, you make it make sense to me. Make it make sense to me. Echirunji, we are here, you're not a father yet. Me, I'm a father of 2. Make it make sense. Orituukanga yo, Sam. You wait the day you give birth. The day you give birth like this, you will tell me. Someone comes and asks you for 20 bob, you'll want to kill them. Sam, let me tell you the people that if it comes to something financial, I can even name the people here who I ask for money. So Robert Ekawan. There was a point in my life I reached Sam, and my back was against the wall. I messaged I'm now living inside me. I messaged Muto, I messaged Kisenyi Alex, I messaged Sam Katusime, but I stopped on hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I'm not well, hi, how are you? Hi. Because in my mind I felt like now, Kati Kisenyi we musaba sent. Kisenyi is in the States. Alimori the state is doing his buildings, he's doing his things. Anonya $5,000 okugatawo to finish a project. You're asking him for $1,000. Make it make sense. No, you make it make sense for me. Why we shouldn't say no in 2025? Make it make sense.
But you see, in the Chengen Ogugamba, you see, you also need to understand that in 2025, one of the things that we should really focus on is that we have to do a very, like, we have to be mad people in the sense of how we go after money. Because let me tell you something, Eri nebo gamba no nebo kolotia. Eri oja kulaba gayi wonga ali bubi ga kugambye mwana eri sina mu payo mutwalo sirina. You will say no, but as you Eri, knowing the kind of person you are, you will drive thinking, shit, where is this guy even going to eat from? Where is he going to sleep? This year has been tough. It has been tough. I started the year with no work. Muganda wange. Do you know living on handouts? You live through, asking or all this shit. And I'm not the kind of person that wanted to actually be down that path. You were there. What do you want to be that? Confidence is low and all that. But at the end of the day is that when you get into a certain element as a man where you feel like I cannot afford to go past my means, or just or if L is down, this is a guy can come and ask you, Eli kanene kujanga mpaye mitwalo 10. Because I'm your guy, you have to come and never goes zilina Eli, but you've budgeted it for some other stuff. Kungamba Sami mubutufu sirina mukumi, but I'm going to give you 40k. It's what I have. Tandikidao. I think we have to actually, if someone comes and says, man, Eli, first send me the 50k. I think you as a person, even if you have the 50k, you have to come and say, man, boss, I would love to help you, but right now, I can only afford to give you 20k. Tandikidao. But when you actually say no, because also another thing people need to understand this, and I saw it a lot this year, is entitlement on people's money. You cannot be entitled on money that is not yours. What I'm trying to tell you is, all of your area in a cent. But then because he has said no to something that you wanted, no nigga. If Eli you have 5 million shillings, Nenzukukanga and just njagala ko mitwalo 10. And then you say, boss, this is Irina. Then later on in the night I see in the bar buying your boat. I'm like, he had planned for it. I can now not get pissed saying, Eddie is busy buying alcohol, he couldn't give me 100k. It is not my money. So at the end of the day, it comes out with someone knowing this year, it's no hard feelings. Kuchintu cha finance. The problem is that we attach feelings. Oh, I was down. I really needed help from these people. Also, 2025 is a year of struggling to make it in the right circles. People that are having real problems. And when I talk about real problems, I'm not talking about 100k problems. People who are looking at how to solve $1 million shilling, 20 million, $1 million. Someone is saying, man, I need 80k of the USD to finalize something. Nzendiwa nononya 20,000 shillings. Are you serious? I cannot be in the same. That person will not take me serious. So we need to penetrate the circles in this coming year that are actually going to elevate us. See what people are doing, copy. I've learned this year, that I can't do it alone. I can't survive. I have to actually be able to be humble and learn. If it requires someone else stepping on my toes for me to get somewhere, I will do that. Because that is how my horns have been chopped. There is no prop there. There are no props in being broke because you didn't want to take certain harsh advice. This is a year where I've said, someone, a guy can come and tell you, Vuga Subaru. But if you're seeing this is a guy who has made it somewhere in life, if you can get certain elements and qualities of what he is doing, then as long as a man does not disrespect you as a man in terms of your ego, in terms of how you feed your family, it is okay. But you have to see, people always say shit, whether you're there or not. So for me, my goal is penetrate circles that you can. Secondly, gobera way people who are entitled. If I can afford to buy my boys beer, then I don't send 20,000 to a certain lady, or I don't send a 250,000 to a certain lady. But she has seen me drinking beer with my boys. I had planned for that money to drink it with me. It's not like I woke up one morning and I said, before we
even touch that gender, 2025 for me, I believe us as men, we're going to strive on one thing only, and that is community. We don't. We lack community. We lack a sense of belonging. We don't have that space where we can go and just link up with jazz. It could be, even if it's the marrieds, it could be even just Gen Zs, it could be us. About already up and coming, maybe we don't have those spaces. Rugby is not that kind of community I'm talking about. Rugby is its own community, because rugby is it's that sport that has really brought people together.
Yes.
This year. But I'm saying a place where we can go, talk things out, be held, we hold each other to account. And the most important thing is progress.
That's true.
You see, Sam, when I started Maverick UG, I have reached out to quite a number of people, very influential people in the agency business, in the marketing business, to see how we can collaborate. I will not mention names again for confidentiality's sake, but bro, the level of gatekeeping, the level of lack of I don't want you to eat because I think you will take my share, yet I can actually contribute even more to your share. So, as guys, if we're all linking up and saying, okay, let's have a community, let's link up maybe every Thursday, catch up, talk, set goals, just try to figure things out. Are we in debt? Like, for me, if we don't have that going into 2025, we are going to be one-man island.
That is very true.
We're going to be one-man island.
That is very true.
And that's where now the problems are going to begin from. You're fighting alone.
Like I made it extremely. There's a tweet that was made of what has 2024 taught you, and I said, for one of the biggest things that I emphasized was, you guys, make as many friends as you possibly can. Now, when I talk of friends, not these stages are just high bad days or drinking bad days. Make friends who you know that if I am in position of need in terms of not just finances, but in terms of information, in terms of this is a person who can give, and not just information or but someone who you know can give you an idea that can kickstart your business, someone who you know that can. You have to be extremely strategic. Let me tell you something. Another issue that I realized along the way is that even the old chaps or even the old folks, especially my generation, Tuzalawa knew this kind of, probably this kid was 4 years behind me, but the guy has his life figured out, and maybe you don't. So that whole shame of how will he look at me when these are the guys that saw us in school and respected us. Bro, life is not carved out like life hits when actually all out there in the jungle. There's a planned kid who was in Form 4, and for him his life has already been sorted. He knows his future and can stand from my campus. Then there is you who doesn't have a plan, but you want to swear. So if you know that there's a kid, whether he's a kiddo, Eli, whether he was 5 years ahead of him, and you know he's somewhere, be humble. Be humble, because in this shit called figuring out life, there is no, this guy was 5 years ahead of me, or this guy bullied me in school. At the end of the day, we are all trying to survive. You cannot sleep hungry because a kiddo was younger than you. They will begin to say,
Yet you can do some work for this
guy. You
move on with your life.
People get these things of screening. You screen people, you put them out of your, circles. You say, man, those guys are like that. I am one person who has, especially rugby, has taught me to embrace different kinds of people. But even for me in school, I used to be that kind of person. Never to screen guys. I was everywhere. And simply because these are the same people that you're going to meet in the life after school that are going to say, oh, guy, Mangi, a cool dude. Even the guys that we knew had bad manners. Those are guys I would say, I'm going to force a friendship with this man. Because I don't know where life is taking him. He may be in a very important place one day. And I'm most likely want to need his help. I have seen that at URA. I'm looking at URA right now. I enter URA and all the people I'm seeing are people who are either younger than me in school or who I went to school with. Or even those that are a bit ahead of me. And I'm always happy to see them. But I cannot have mistreated someone, Nemuzarawa, then Nemusanga in a position of help. Then I start trying to beg him and try to act nice. Bro, don't bring that shit. People never forget. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we enter this coming year, kakana, just be humble and let life take you as it is. Otherwise, there is no props in suffering. Give your kids everything you can possibly give. Help out whatever you can do. Eli, at the end of the day, I have to grab your hand, you have to grab my hand. And that's the shit that is going to kill all of us. You know? If Eli, you progress, I'll tell you, one thing I've learned about 2024 is that money sieves. Money sieves. It sieves your circle. It sieves everything. Eli, you could be my best friend. And you're making a shit ton of dimes. I'm telling you, you'll be telling me I'm going for a meeting in places where you know I can't afford to be there. Of course, you'll be checking with me. Hey, what? But at the end of the day, your guys will be telling you we have meetings to golf course. And I'm like, how can I call Sammy to come to the golf course now? But I also have to have a place. I have to be in a place whereby I can be able to pitch for myself. So if that happens, that let us be able to grab one another. You'll be like, Sammy, I need Sammy to get into these levels. Or maybe within your circles, you've seen someone like, come on, brother, I have a guy
who can do this.
This gatekeeping shit, I'm telling you.
No, but like, for me, you see some gatekeeping, Sam. Olaba nabona okusetinga ekintu kyange. But it started slowly. But mpola. But reaching out to people, wanting to collaborate with people with a level of gatekeeping, I found Sam was so mad.
And the problem, Eli, a guy can be gatekeeping shit that tebiri yona you. Like the guy is gatekeeping shit that you can actually help him improve. Then you ask yourself, but now you gatekeeping something I felt like I could have contributed. It is okay you gatekeep, But if the people, the best in the business, are willing to give, and for you, you're going to say, I'm not going to give Eli this recipe because he's going to make better food than me. That is okay. That's what makes, that's what differentiates. Which is okay. Let me tell you, some people, even when it comes to sports, who have played sports, a guy will be so good at something, and probably you will find it hard for him whenever you tell him, yo, come and teach me this move. He's taking you for laps. He's not trying to tell you because he doesn't want you probably to perfect the move better than him, to beat him. Same thing, chess, anywhere. How guys make those, everyone, that will be his thing. Even you, Eli, when Maverick gets there, and that's the thing, you have to learn on the job. That person who you're saying is gatekeeping, a certain thing that is important. You don't know what he went through to get it. But I understand where you're coming from. However, there are people who gatekeep everything. Somewhere, and then we start from there. But gatekeeping everything, that's a fucked up bit, bro. That's a fucked up bit. But life is such, man.
Yeah, life is such. But you see, like, okay, personally, the networks we make, yes, that's one thing. But for me, I met a guy. What up? Came on yesterday.
How much Rasta?
I met a guy. I've been doing a video a day on TikTok. Just trying to recalibrate my audience because I have so many social platforms. So I said, let me use TikTok to just make a video a day and just document. Because I was having a chat with Eo Marcus about the Koba Fest, and we talked about a lot. And he gave me that idea. He said, but Eli, man, you're always driving, you're always doing, your job is so fun. Connect with people through that job that you're doing. Do that one video a day and see where it gets you. You never know, you're going to and also my sister was also on it because my sister wanted me to niche down. So I said, but now if I'm niching down into my professional set, I need a more professional setting to niche down. So I met a guy called Timothy. I normally do interviews at Galaxy FM. So I meet Timothy. He owns a brand house called the Recap Brand House, and he owns a studio called Real Radio. So I meet Timothy. I tell him about my story. I told him I have podcast gear, state of the art. He's like, hey man, good stuff. Then he's like, why don't you come by my studio? So Timothy bring me over to the studio they have it's in Chizungu, there, Lukuli Road, Buziga. Pass by the studio, setup is fresh, bro. So it's like, man, for now it's cool, just come through, record. Chinagwa kumutima, chotuwa, where's our studio? I said, what? So like, I went there the first week, met some guy called Cyber. Cyber also started helping me out doing like my recordings and stuff like that. So that's now where I started taking my more professional side too. So that's where I do like the more professional takes. But for my one in a day takes, I do them from the car. But now see, I met a guy who is just willing to open up a space. He knows in the future that I would want to have my own studio.
Yes.
But this is a guy I can trust to consult, to help me set up a studio. Even if I have like a 10 million, he can help me set up a content studio. You get? But it's just through those connections that someone has just opened up his space.
That is true. Yeah.
And it's like, let's go.
Those are one in a million, bro. Those are one in a million. There are very few people who will give you things for free or information for free and stuff like that.
Very, very few.
There are very few. But the minute I'm telling you, for you, the minute you, because buli chimu byetukola eri byakugezesa nganze ngezeseza ogezesa nechigana, but at the end of the day you have to understand that where the other people, where they started from is not where you started from, and how they have been moving across the entire scheme of things is probably different from your scheme as well. So at the end of the day, you have to just keep your head down, push. Let me tell you, all this talk that we give ourselves of, man, let's try again tomorrow. The problem is trying. The problem that I've seen this year for me personally has been trying the same thing, expecting a different result. So you have to actually keep trying different things, getting out of comfort zones. And that's another thing that, of course, my boys and everything, I encourage my people, let's get out of comfort zones. To be a lot of people will laugh at us, hey, Sami is doing this, but someone laughs and everything. But when the thing grabs day, people will want to rub shoulders, But then also being able to penetrate the market by knowing who to talk to is important. You're lucky you're in an industry where you meet so many people, where you meet people with very hard connects, social capital. Let us not take that thing for granted. Me, I know people who right now are employed because of social capital. I know people right now who are partners in bars because of social capital. Ngai just here later 10 million, but you've been our hardest guy. Tugenda kuteka you bring in your money and we see how to put you into this thing.
And back to the money thing before we continue on this. Back to the money thing. There was a guy who once called me. I remember, man, Eli first give me 50k, first give me 100k, but this guy has skills. This guy has skills. So I tell this guy, don't you have customers? Don't you have business that we can close under my company? In a company. But don't you have customers? Don't you have clients that I can close for you? I can't lend you money all the time, but I can close a gap for you. You get?
I hear you.
A guy not a bit gay. Guy not a bit gay.
Opportunity loss.
Just like that.
So anyway, at the end of it all, there's no formula, Eli.
There's no formula. That's true.
There's no formula. There's no
formula.
There's no formula. The manual
is
not
formula.
there. We don't have a manual on how But one thing I can tell you that we have is social freaking capital.
Man, tell you the truth. Let's
This whole business of closing yourself off because you feel those guys are not, either they don't speak the same language as you, or they don't drink the same drinks as you, or they have different kinds of KBs. That is true. Okay? That is true. When you may not fit in certain circles because of how they move, but you can scale your shit down to a point of, me, all I need from this person is information regarding this.
Hello? Hassan? Hello? Okay. Take a Airtel over MTN. Mama bana badagala kasente. Hello? Oh, right to withdrawing, I want to see down that side. Okay. Kale, no problem. Let me do that. This is Zina. Kankweze Nina. Mukulu. But the truth is, let's be held. So what are you living in 2024, man? You.
Man, let me tell you one thing. 2024 has taught me that as men, we do not have the luxury or the time to lament or to...
Coming through, eh? I'm coming through.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you for something.
What up? What do you need?
Would you be having like pliers in your...
I don't have a toolbox. What dog am I?
2024 has taught me that as men, we don't have the luxury of whining, lamenting, or feeling sorry for yourself. Secondly, Eli, whatever problem or situation, chija kugwa. However, chiwede chitia, one, please do not pile up issues on your own. I know some people find it hard to talk about their problems. You don't have to tell the whole world your problems. But if it means talking to your wife, if it means talking to your son, if it means talking to your best friend, if it means talking to the bartender that you're always drinking from, talk to someone. Guys are dropping because of depression, mental health. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Different money, different problems. Guys are going through it. So for me, all I can say is, that's the shit that almost took me this year. In very, very bad state, bro. Yeah, because I'm trying to, let me fight this shit on my own. Sometimes it doesn't, telling someone doesn't mean you're looking for a solution. Sometimes you just need someone to listen. And you never know what they could tell you in that moment that can change your thinking. Eli, as a man, let us not be those things, hey, you're going through hard life, then you sit back and you're like, fuck, I think I failed. No. Eli, I think my mentality going forward has changed over the years because, especially this year, every month I've been challenged. But it has taught me, I never thought I had this kind of positive mindset in my life. You know what it means being down like 35 with 10 minutes to go, being down 35 points, but you know, finding a way of how to win this game. You play the best defense of your life.
Give you an example. There was a day I left home. I ate at 4 p.m. I couldn't believe it.
Very good. Me, there's a time I went to work. Eli, nga munsawo Eli. Namuzintwala ku mulimu zokka. Lunch? What are we going to do? How do we go home? Bro. of which eno bamanja report ku mulimu. I have to be at my A game. But as a man, these are things that have to happen. And it's not like, by the way, before that I was extremely broke to the... I had just paid all my bills. But you know when you pay all your bills and you feel like, okay, fine, ulichimuchi is sorted. But now you don't know what to start from. Doing as at that. Okay, I can say this. I've sorted out everything. The house is fully stocked with food. You've bought everything. Mulichimu steady. Munyumba, everything is kawa. What about tomorrow, bro? How do you manage? These days they're asking you for money for hair. These days they are telling you money for nails. Boss men. Let me tell you, the end of the day, Eli, if we do not tell ourselves as men in 2025 that kachibechi, we are going to put our heads down and be like, yo, me, this is what I'm going to do. This is what is going to bring me money. One thing 2025 has taught me is that every man, whatever work they are doing, they are not doing it because they are bored. They are doing it because they need to provide. And respect everyone's hustle.
That's a very big thing.
Respect everyone's hustle. You know? Me, I've been with people who have made fun of guys' hustles and everything. Man, at the end of the day, if he can put food on his plate, man, that's what matters. You know? Because a lot of times we have this thing of where guys want to hire, banter, man, that guy, I found things.
Do you remember one time I judged you guys, the parking guy of Alchemist? And guys argued about that story. How much the parking guy of Alchemist makes.
Because you told us how much?
Tuzibaleka tinga tetunagenda pick up. So there is a guy who normally Bandali, right?
Yes.
But chauffeur we bali banji. So I come in the bell truck one day, guy, and I wanted to park at the Alchemist. So the guy who parks cars at the Alchemist, not the inside guys, but there's an outside guy, but he had his gloves. What the guy had mob keys. Guy told me, man, Kimo chikoze gwali ko chimaliriza man. Namugamba, bro. I was so mad because he was thinking that sina bizu. I parked my car and I told him katuzibale zizo. I asked him, how many cars do you park every night? How much do you charge per car? Guy told me he parks 22 cars times 10,000 shillings.
That's 220 bob.
You're the one who is good at math. 220k. So 22 cars on a Friday, 10k, right? We're gonna add, let me put another outside brackets here. We're going to add Saturday. I asked him, Saturday, how many cars do you park? I told me Saturday on average 15 times 10k.
150.
Sunday, I added Sunday because Sunday sometimes, okay, once a month there is branch, but now for Sunday, let me average it at what? Let's do an average of 20 cars on branch day, but let's do 5,000 since we're cutting it across the whole month. Guys, this is 470,000 shillings.
In a weekend.
A weekend. A week. Parking guy, nobody does innocent. Told him we do times 4.
That's
1.8 million. He doesn't pay a shit ton of taxes. Nemubuza. So, oloza ntabagaga wote wakutipinga. Saidi olusi. Wiki munyizo kufuna tips of like 50k. Times 4. So zili make that 200,000?
Yes.
In tips?
That's 2 million something.
2,080,000 shillings. Parking cars.
Non-tax.
Guy, I told him, boss, by the way, I'm not giving you any tip today. Let me park here.
To tip you.
I told him, please, just guy, Sami, guy na mubalira sent, guy na sirika. You get? So, that thing of mtokuzara wo muntu nze sikolanga. I don't do that shit. Uli omu abera ni office ye.
That's true.
You never know, you can see an askari day in day out is in the same spot.
Yeah.
But he waits in that same spot because he knows there is a mugaga who likes him.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to come give him his 50k.
That is very true. That is a very, just respect everyone's hustle, man.
Yeah.
In a guy wango wa border. Yeah, bit ku stage out. Sometimes I even ask him, I'm like, boss, ukola sawa meka. Nganze ngula just to chilinga buchi. That man told me he stays in Mukono. But he comes to work in Chireka. The man told me he leaves home at 5 a.m. He has a client to take to office at 6. Here from my apartment. Picks the client. Bamuteka ku retainer meanwhile. Client. Yamuteka ku retainer per month. The guy didn't tell me how much they were paying him, but he said, "Ansasola musala gwa mwezi." So every morning I have to come and unless the babe calls and says, "I'm not moving anywhere." That's when. But he says from Monday to Friday I have to pick her first before I start.
Can we assume?
Let's assume, because the chick works in town, so let's assume maybe like 6k per day. But let's assume that probably the guy is being
the retainer
paid.
Could be like 300 or 50.
Exactly. Because he has to be there every freaking morning. Now, he has to pick her in the evening. Over the guy is in Nansa, just know whatever he has to do, he has to plan that at this time, I have to pick this person. Then I told him, Kati wali wofe, abakumanyi wano stage in these apartments, which he, and the guy said, of course, the guy told me that in a day, on a very bad day, he says on a bad day where he has not had like money coming in, he can take home 150,000. And that means, because he says, I know there's someone I always take to different, he has some musician he always transports on the board. So guy tells him, and the guy gives him like 20 bob. Then he finds other guys who are doing deliveries, nabatwala. So he told me in the sum by 5 p.m. before I go and pick this chick. The guy said, by 5 p.m. ngasina nyuka, mbanyi na only like 80k. By the time I pick this chick, drop her home, and then go home to Mukono, mbangenda wali Chireka, nenyimira nemfuna agenda Mukono. Nemugamba kasanvu. The guy makes it. Then sometimes he can meet Seta, gets another person who is ready to move on the same border. Na atwala. So the guy told me, that is on a bad day. Between 100 to 150 on a bad day. Then of course on a good day he'll even hit 200k. Based on the kind of amount of work he has been doing. So he said, of course, he said, you'll never see me nganimoko unzika pichira mafuta. It can never happen. He says, because he knows the kind of work he does. His bike is kept clean, everything. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that sometimes, and it's not that all his other mates make the same money. No. For him, he's lucky to have different type of connection. There are people there's someone who will tell him, he's the kind of guy you will give money and tell him, you go to this restaurant and buy me this food and come back. He goes like to Cafe Javas, or he'll go to like Cafe Seri, buy stuff and come and bring it. And that's, you have to pay him for that. Because you have to pay him for that journey going and the journey coming back. So at the end of the day, Eli, when you go into whatever you're living in 2024, leave shame. When it comes to making money, leave shame behind. Ebyokuswala nga kuliko sente anko jazikola sigwa inawana ababiri
banda bangansi tuda kwetu koba festival basikya ne bagamba muwe
usaga wasitude da create actually ubo yetaga omuntu wokusitula ko create so kutambula nazo mu bush amachupa tulongosa buli kimu nze njakola
tugetuzaje kwesera